It's the TEFL Express podcast, brought to you by TEFL Express, your partner in the world of teaching English as a foreign language. For all the latest and greatest in the world of TEFL training and materials, please visit our website at teflexpress.co.uk. Enjoy the show!
Hi, my name is Adam, and this is the TEFLCast, and today we have Gregory Kreisman with us. Greg's been on the show before, talked a lot with us about middle school and teaching adults, the differences, the observations. How are you doing today, Greg?
Oh, I'm doing great. Glad to be back.
Just for anybody who didn't tune in before, can you give us a quick introduction about yourself?
Sure. My name's Greg Kreisman. I've been in China for about more than 5 years, and I'm originally from America. From St. Louis, Missouri. I really enjoy living in Beijing.
Yeah, it's a great city. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot to do, a lot of opportunity, and a lot of differences as well. From North America, myself being a Canadian from North America, it's a lot of cultural differences.
Yeah, I think, it's really difficult to try to imagine what a place will be like before you get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember thinking I'd planned to take, my CELTA and then come over to China and find a job. And then, I watched a couple movies, China, Beijing. There was one on the Food Channel about the food. And I'm trying in my mind to develop this, this idea of what the place will look like.
Right.
And, at the moment, at the time I was staying in my sister's house in upstate New York. And she lives outside of, she lives in a little town called Pittsford, New York, just full of trees and cars and, just trees everywhere.
Right.
And, no buildings. And, I'm trying to imagine this place. Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of it. So I arrive in Beijing and, I come, from the airport to a little hostel right across from a train station. I find myself in the middle of a gigantic urban landscape that my mind had no way to prepare me for.
Like you were saying about where you were staying in upstate New York, my hometown is quite a small town, so I know exactly the kind of, atmosphere and feeling that you mean, and then arriving to, it's just concrete. As far as the eye can see. And personally, I love it. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that. And I guess just for being a change from where I'm from.
Yeah.
But it is quite different. It's hard to really grasp it, especially if you're from a small town or, in the country at all.
Sure. And I think even a medium-sized town in the United States. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm from, St. Louis, Missouri, which, is a city, but it did nothing like Beijing. And even some, I think in some ways, living in New York City approximates it, but there's something about the bustle of Beijing when you get here that's just crazy. So I think that one of my first, I guess, it's a cultural difference, and I didn't know how to cross the street. I had no idea how to cross the street.
I've been here for 5 years now, and I still don't know how to cross the street.
And it seems so. One of the cultural things that you first find here is that people do kind of whatever they want to do,
right?
Which is really strange, coming from a kind of ordered, society like North America.
Exactly. I found the exact same thing. I still do, and I really admire it. Like in a sense, just seeing the way people do whatever they feel like doing in a comfortable way, like nothing, in a negative way. There's no, not in a violent sense or an out of control sense. None of that. It's just small things, and it really gives the place that true sense of freedom.
Yeah, it does. It's very strange to try to describe that to people, maybe who are afraid of coming here. Many people say, oh, it's a communist country. What do you feel like? People are keeping you from doing anything. I said, no, quite the opposite.
It's very opposite.
You can do whatever the heck you want. Nobody's going to say anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, even as something as simple as drinking a beer. Yeah. That's always my favorite example. Yeah. Like, if it's a hot day out in the summer, if I want to, I can go to a convenience store, a corner store, buy a can or a bottle of beer, and just sip away at it while I'm walking down the sidewalk. Yeah. And there's no harm being done to anybody. I'm not ruining anybody's day. Yeah. I'm not insulting anyone's religion. There's nothing wrong
exactly
with what I'm doing. But now for me to do that back home, I'd be fined.
Yeah.
I would be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. And I think
and it is okay here. That's not a problem. I mean, again, as long as you're not being disruptive in any way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and that comes from the absolute cultural difference. For even something like drinking a beer, according to, their, Chinese thought is, oh, well, maybe if you're flustered enough and it's a hot day, well, maybe you should drink a beer, relax yourself. It might be better for your health. I think one of those, they don't approach things from a very legalistic way.
Right.
They don't attack it from like a Judeo-Christian moralistic way. They address it from what is best for you and for, everybody around you. And relaxing is one of those things that they like to do.
And I'm a big fan of that myself. So I definitely appreciate the custom.
Yeah, it's true. And I think that, so that's very nice. So it does and that's kind of one of those contradictions. When I landed here and I saw the road and I think, God, how am I ever going to learn how to cross this? And it's just, because I was thinking like, oh, we must follow some rule to do it. Mm-hmm. And there's no real set rule.
No.
Just get in a crowd of people. If they're crossing.
When everybody crosses, you cross
with them. Yeah,
exactly.
So, and I think, otherwise too, now I've been living here for a long time and at work and things like that, you find they really care, their culture cares about relaxing.
Yeah.
And they will often remind you to take it easy.
Yeah.
To slow down, take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's so different than sort of the work culture in North America.